From the roar of the crowd to the roar of the engine, this is Pit Pass.
Pit Pass is brought to you by Jake's Karts and by Buttonwood Campground. Here's your host, Ron Fox.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Pit Pass. Weather-wise, the past couple of weeks have been fairly good. However, on Friday, most tracks got washed out. A couple that didn't were Williams Grove Speedway and Big Diamond Raceway. Personally, it was nice to have a night off. But on Saturday, I was back at it, taking in the action at Port Royal Speedway. Earlier in the week, track crews dug up the old racing surface in an effort to reduce dust levels. So the question going into Saturday's races was, would the efforts help while also providing quality racing? Let's find out. The 410 Sprints opened the night's activities in a memorable fashion. Michael Heckman would start on the pole, but appears to hit the inner guardrail, affecting the steering. Out of control, he spins back into traffic. Justin Henderson swerves to miss Heckman, but hits Tyler Walker, who goes for a wild ride. Robbie Stillwagon is also collected in the accident. And Walker would get out of his ride okay, while still limping from his injury sustained during a victory lane backflip gone wrong a couple of weeks ago. So take two, minus a few cars. This time Joey Hershey would get things started as he leads the field into turn one. The white number 20 of Ryan Taylor and 55 of Mike Wagner make it around Kurt Stroop in a battle for second. It looks like Taylor has the position, but Wagner charges to his outside to take the spot. Not far behind them is the 22 of Greg Hodnett, who is working his way to the front. A couple of laps in, the 7 of Chad Layton passes Taylor for third. After blowing an engine during his heat race, Layton and crew installed a new power plant, which obviously is working well. On lap 10, Greg Hodnett closes in on Taylor for the fourth spot. Taylor bobbles in 1 and 2 as Hodnett gains the position. Then on lap 15, Hodnett's charge to the front comes to a stop with a flat tire. His crew would get him back out without losing a lap. It's now lap 17, and Wagner continues to hold off Layton for second. Just behind them, Mike Erdley in the Shell Machine dives under Taylor in turns 1 and 2 to move himself up the fourth. Moments later, Taylor has his hands full. Nice wheeling. On lap 22, Layton is able to take the runner-up spot as Wagner pushes high in 3 and 4. Then Erdley tries to take a shot at Wagner for third to no avail. Coming down to take the white flag, it looks as though Hershey will pick up his first win. But Layton has other plans as he closes the gap, then pulls even on the backstretch. Going into turn 3, Layton starts to pull away. After blowing an engine in his heat race, Chad Layton comes back to take the checkers in the 25-lapper. Chad, after blowing the engine in the heat race, could you have thought it could have turned out like this tonight?
You know, no, I definitely didn't think it was going to turn out the way that it did. We just been battling some issues, and my guys never give up. We just keep on working hard through it, and we blew a motor up in the heat race tonight, and I was a little worried because there wasn't a real big field of cars. There was going to be no consolation events, and I know they were going to try and move through with the show, and we really worked hard and worked fast and got the motor changed, and it paid off. The motor that we stuck on runs really well. So
between here and Williams Grove, you've had a lot of success this year.
Yeah, we have had a lot of success. Racing's not easy. 1 week you're good and next week you're really off. So, it goes to show, the guys work really hard on the car. Even when we're down in the dumps, they just keep on working on it. And, our Donat engines work real good. The J&J chassis, the Middlesworth team couldn't be better. When we have our down times, they seem to kind of just let us do our thing and keep on moving and grooving.
They tore up the track this week, and they even redid it a little bit in between the heats and the feature. Assess how that turned out.
I would say that, it's good that somebody's paying attention to it and trying to make it better. For the last couple of weeks, we've had some really poor conditions up here with dust and stuff, and I'm sure it makes it not only bad on us, but the people watching the races can't see. And, it was bad. But they're taking the time to make the thing better, and they got some other people in here running the racetrack. I wouldn't say the conditions are perfect yet, but at least they're taking the time to try and make it right, and they got people devoted to it. Track was much better than it usually is tonight. It was still a little rough, but like anything, you got to work at it to make it good.
Granted, you didn't get the run many laps in your heat race, but from a driver's standpoint, does it worry you when you see them messing with the track between the heats and the feature?
Oh, it definitely worries me. It doesn't seem like we're ever on the same track twice. Yeah, I was skeptical, and then, not only that, we got the car right and the motor was running really good, and then I lost my brakes in the feature on lap 8, so, it made it interesting. At the point I lost my brakes and I was running third, I thought, now I just got to hang on to where I'm at and try and maintain, but I could see that our car was clearly better than the guys in front of us, and I wasn't about to lay down and give up.
Following Leighton across the line were Hershey, Wagner, Taylor, and Erdley. In 2 weeks, Port Royal hosts the O'Reilly All-Star Late Models, followed by the $15,000 to win Jim Nace Memorial on August 7th for the sprints. They should make for great nights to be at the track. Later in the show, we will have more highlights from Port Royal, as well as UFO Super Late Models in action at Dog Hollow Speedway. Up next, changes have been made at Heston Speedway. We will look at their history and their future when Pit Pass returns.